Well, what's being called one of the most comprehensive illegal immigration bills in the nation has made its way through the state capitol with little opposition. The measure puts increased pressure on employers not to hire illegals and gives both state and local authorities the power to enforce federal immigration law.
Has said House Bill 1804 is the most meaningful immigration reform bill in the nation.
What began with a House news conference is set to become the toughest immigration law in the country.
I declare the bill to be advanced.
After quick passage in the House of Representatives, the bill made it to the Senate, where plenty of lawmakers voiced their concerns.
First of all, this is a bad bill. This bill is a sham.
The truth of the matter is there is not an available pool of labor to replace the immigrant worker in Oklahoma.
There's not one word in this bill that's going to remove one illegal alien out of the state of Oklahoma.
Yet when the debate finished, the bill easily passed.
I declare the same to have passed.
Under the bill, illegal immigrants will no longer have access to taxpayer-funded services, except in cases such as a medical emergency or a natural disaster. And employers will now be required to screen their applicants or face criminal penalties. The legislation also includes language that mirrors federal law on transporting or hiding illegal immigrants, giving state law enforcement the authority to take action in such cases.
We have a workforce problem. Workforce development is one of the key issues that's being discussed in our meetings.
Ronn Cupp is with Oklahoma's Chamber of Commerce, one of several business groups concerned early drafts of the legislation would put Oklahoma business at an economic disadvantage. Those provisions were largely removed in the Senate version of the bill, yet lawmakers who voted for 1804 still worry about their constituents.
We all are people of law, and I understand what the bill is about, but at the end of the day, how's this going to really impact the housing industry, the hotel and restaurant business, the agriculture business? And I think it's going to have a negative effect on it.
The United States economy is dependent upon the migrant workforce. In particular, agriculture is the most dependent on a migrant workforce.
Ericka McPherson is Director of National Affairs for Oklahoma Farm Bureau and says American Farm Bureau's national position is for the implementation of a guest worker program, a provision that is now being debated in our nation's capital.
If the immigration reform bill was passed and it was just a border enforcement provision in the bill and there was no guest worker provision allowed, what would happen is we would see anywhere from a $5 to $9 billion impact on the nation's economy. And again, that's $1 billion impact with a B.
So while Oklahoma's immigration reform may be making the headlines, it's the currently stalled immigration bill in Congress that will ultimately determine our nation's policy toward a workforce that some may resent, but we've all grown dependent upon.